light of the increasing COE prices, Transport Minister Lui Tak Yew will be entering talks with the public and industry players to take in consideration some suggestions for making car ownership more equitable in Singapore. Namely, making sure luxury cars do not end up in Category A and making those who buy more than one car pay more. So, what do you think of these suggestions? Bruce, you actually own 4 cars, right? So,
yeah, that's right.
Making people with more than one car pay more, what do you think of that?
I think it doesn't really serve the purpose of controlling the number of cars on the roads, because personally, although I own 4 cars, I can only drive one car at any one time. And basically what's going to happen is that now instead of me taking the loans, I guess my wife has 1 car, my brother has 1 car, so they have to take their own individual loans. So it's still not going to control the number of cars on the road at the end of the day.
I think the issue is not really to control the congestion, but as the minister suggested,
right,
it's really to make it more equitable. In fact, if you take up 4 COEs, that means you are denying, so-called denying 3 other people of COEs.
Yeah, right.
So what they're trying to do is for those who want to own more than one, to pay a surcharge. It's probably likened to a wealth tax.
Right.
Or an income tax that is strata. Yeah. It could be tied to, say, insurance premium or residence, or something that is, or they could make you sign a statutory statement.
It's a good thing that he would recommend that surcharge for the multiple cars, but we must see whether the purpose of it and whether it will be effective or not. That's what Bruce says, he can split into his family members.
Of course, if it's not effective, then it will make a mockery of the scheme. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it also becomes let people feel in the way that why do you want to control so much? Importantly, as what Minister says, there is only very small percentage of it.
How about the other suggestion then? The one about reclassifying the COEs such that luxury cars are in a separate category.
In the last few years, you find that Mercedes, BMW, Audi have made cars which are below 1.6 litres, so they naturally end up in Cat A, and because they're in Cat A and because they have wider margins, they're able to outbid a lot of the other cars that were traditionally Cat A cars. That is why we find that in the last few years, brands like Mercedes, BMW have been at the top sellers list, right? Yeah. So this creates an equity issue, because the whole intent of having A, B is to try and separate, to have some kind of segregation between the classes. So when this happened the last few years, I guess they should have reacted faster, but better late than never.
I think for example, for me, I'm now looking for to replace my vehicle. I mean, definitely such a move will be better for me, because I'm not going to go for the Continental models unless they're within my reach. It's more likely that I will be looking to look at a mid-range Japanese model, or vehicle to purchase.
Bruce, can I just ask, what are the cars that you have? Are there any of them in Category A? Or?
No, none of them are in Category A actually. It's a Lamborghini, S-Class, and 3 Series. Yeah, so it's within the family. So
it won't. So this won't affect you anyway,
no,
even if they reclassify.
No, it wouldn't.
So would you say that this new proposal is considered more fair?
Well, it depends on how they craft it. Yeah, depends on how they craft it. If they use horsepower, as they hinted, I don't think it's the right thing to do. I think it's regressive if you try and classify it according to engine output. I don't know what you all think.
We get a lot of slower cars on the road, I think.
Yeah. Because with technological advancement, engines are becoming more efficient and more powerful, and you're trying to limit it, and you say, oh, I cannot have more than 100 horsepower or something like that. It's regressive. One suggestion was to just have one category. One category, and then I apply a multiplier according to your OMV or your price. Then there's no it's more simple, more straightforward. I think the biggest determinant of COE prices is the supply of COEs. So right now the supply is very, very constrained. So every little factor that comes in, a new factor, no matter how small, it's going to move prices either up or down. But going forward, I think there will be more COEs, right? There should be more COEs from next year, or maybe even the latter half of this year. So as the supply goes up, naturally, I think that the price should come down a bit.
Something that Singaporeans, most of the time they consider affordability more than the actual quantum of the cost of the car. So I think now with the loan coming into place, 50%, it's really struck off a lot of people who were sitting on the sidelines and waiting to save up their first 10 or 20% to afford this car. I think now they got to save up 50%. So in a way, a lot of people are impacted already for that matter. So I think this will actually control the amount of people who are actually looking to purchase their first car.
In our next clip, we ask the panelists for their own ideas on how to make the system better.